Okay, so we are ready to start. Welcome, everybody. I'm very happy to see this many people. Let me introduce myself. I'm Jacqueline Rinaldi from Chebes, one of the partners of Seabridge project. For today, we are organizing this event called From Project to Vision, Seabridge, and New Path to Sustainability for No-Profits. So this is the second event for the networking engagement stakeholder event for and cross-sectoral workshops. So we are actually seeing through different activities how we can actually get the aim of this event. So let me go forward and to present you the agenda for these 2 hours together. We are having this open session, an introduction where I will present the agenda and also a brief overview of the previous stakeholder engagement event done in December, last December, and then we will actually going through some Seabridge practices and tools, and we hope to open our discussion. And after this, we have, let me introduce also Maria and Katerina from the Polish Chamber of Commerce. So we are very happy to have them in this event.
Hello.
Where we have the pleasure to see a different point of view. With an overview of the services, the role of supporting SMEs through the chamber, and then some example projects where they actually empowered this environment. Then we'll have with me a brainstorming session for with an interactive discussion for hopefully future topics, few project topics, and for opening new collaboration opportunity. And a short coffee break, 10 minutes coffee break, and then a second workshop with Lucia Gregorio from Peuga. Thank you again to being and supporting us on this event, where she's going to give an introduction to the business model canvas for relevance for of course this is relevant for no-profits, and of course adapting the canvas to create value and other practical tips that can be applied to a business model. And then, of course, we will close with a warm-up where we actually ask if somebody wants to actually share our feedback to us. So let's begin. So let's present what is the aim of this event. We wanted to give an opportunity to at local and European level, and this was possible as a facilitator, so to create a cross-sectoral dialogue. Of course, by exchange best practice and know-how between the Seabridge project that I will present, and of course the audience, so you. I don't know if we have somebody from the previous networking event. It was done in December 8th, 2024. Where we actually presented different points, very interesting points. These are some key activities that we have done. So we actually presented some relevant platform for networking. And of course, we presented some exploitation opportunity for the project outcome. And if you want to actually see it or rewatch it for the ones that were present, please go through the website, and you will find the networking section where you can watch the video, the recording again. But I will share with you some useful links where you can easily access. So let's just give a very short presentation from Seabridge project, because we have probably somebody that is new for this project. It's Seabridge project. It was started in the 2023 in October, and it will find conclusion in September. So and it has done many activities with the aim of course, to supporting the comprehensives and enterprises. So as through facilitation in access to finance, but of course to foster their environment and encourage entrepreneurial culture. So we hope to complete this aim by the end of the project in a very positive way. Yes, one more thing, the project was funded by the European Union under the program COSME, but is now called a single thread program. So if you are interested to go through more about this call, you can easily going through the European Union foundations. The project is managed, coordinated by EMIP, and it has several partnerships with representing the Italian organization from Sicily. And then we have Slovenian, Spanish, and Irish. So, and of course, Turkey. So we have different organizations from different countries. So why we wanted to really get foster to Seabridge? Because we really felt that we need to do something for helping these and block some different and unknown and how to say difficulties on understanding the challenge that we are facing for the climate change. So even understanding better the old European Green Deal. So all these important regulations that at the European level we have, for example, the carbon border adjustment mechanism, that of course the targets which targets energy intensive industries are of course facing, with the key to reducing carbon emissions. And of course, because we believe that a single and it's important, it gives a significant impact on our planet. So for doing that, we create different projects, different activities, where I think they are all free, they are all open sources, so anybody can easily get more knowledge on all these impacts for the climate change. For example, we developed a comprehensive digital manual for actually going through and understand better and navigate the legal and administrative requirements for the CBAM implementation. So, and all access funding opportunities, because you will see also for this project, we actually had informative webinars for actually described what these regulations are and how to actually understand better. So, and they are being all online, so they were recorded and still available on the website. So you can actually have a training and a formation inside. For example, the peer learning workshops, they were actually focused on the issues, of course, that the challenges of the green transition and digital transition faced. So all the workshops were actually helping and interactivity gave the interactivity for this environment. And then, of course, for employees and managers, we actually develop the two trainings where with different topics and different aims. For example, for creating a roadmap for sustainable practice and social economy organization. So I think this is very helpful for this time. So if you would like to actually retake or do this training, are still everything will be available on the website. Please go and check it out. And all this was also focused on a very important activity for our project, such as the open call that we launched last August, where more than 60 proposals were presented, and we had 60 winners with of course, projects for actually develop their capability for more environmentally friendly and digital production. So all the projects will have the conclusion by the end of the project, and we hope to present some of them in the future events. And so as well, this event and these workshops that we will do today will be available on the platform, on the Seabridge website. As you can see, we had the previous one in February and in March. So for the second workshop, we still have we still wanted to share with you all the material that we collected during the event. So you can actually download and watch the all recording from the workshop. And this event will be also available on these pages. And something very interesting that I really would appreciate if you want to register is the acceleration program for SMEs. It's a program where we actually giving a unique opportunity for the businesses that actually wants to improve themselves with the marketing, but also with the business. So it's very complete. Each session is, of course, designed to empower yourself, empower your work, give more opportunity for yourself to know more about the sustainability field, but of course give key for understand better these topics. So of course this will give you the possibility to accelerate your growth, expand even your network, because there will be the possibility to work with the other participants and of course gain the value inside from your experts. So the sessions are each Thursday from March, was done from March to May 22. So still we have 3 accessible sessions for the month of May from 12 to 2 p.m. So Central European time. So go and you can still scan the QR code, or you can easily find it in the website. So still the chance to enroll to this program. And of course, as I said, we have our official website where are all our products, our results. Please check it out, enjoy, and you can still follow us on all social media. And here will be published all the future events, all the future key ways, so all the things that we have done. So all the promotion will be done through social media. So we looking forward to have you on board in our profiles. So please, if you have any questions or any doubt, or you are curious of something that I just presented, please tell me. Just if you have difficulties on finding the buttons, or you can easily also let me show you find this section here where we can actually open a discussion or the chat. So if you have any question or you want to share something, okay. I'm happy that probably have been very clear. So here you have the QR codes. So if you want to scan it with your phone, so you can, it would be easier probably for you. Let's wait there are 2 minutes for that. Okay, so I will send you all the links by chat. So if you are facing any problem, you will have it an easier way to get inside. So by finishing that part, I would like to present again Maria and Katerina. Mrs. Naworska and Kaniweska. I don't know if I pronounce correctly, but from the department, especially Foreign Relations Department. And thank you again one more time for helping us on giving the opportunity to all the audience to share more opportunities, more ideas. So please.
So we can start, yes, Jacqueline?
Yes, please.
Okay, let me present us. Maria Nowakowska, Polish Chamber of Commerce. I'm working in the Foreign Relations Department, and my colleague Katarzyna Kaniska from the same department. Polish Chamber of Commerce is some kind of federation, let's say, because it is an organization whose members are the chambers, regional chambers, for example, local chambers, branch chambers, bilateral chambers, different kind of business organizations, associations, and another institutions relating to the economy. And we are Chamber of Chambers. At the moment, you can see at the screen that we have 160 business organizations, but this presentation was made before the pandemic or during the pandemic, as I remember. So at the moment, in truth, we have 174 members, because it is a little bigger numbers as it was presented on the screen. It is the largest independent business organization in Poland. It was established in 1990, so we have some years, and it represents the largest number of entrepreneurs. Another thing that we can say about our chamber are the strategic areas of our activity. Of course, first of all, it is the representing of the interest of our members and the Polish companies before state authorities, national and foreign organizations. Our main activity is international cooperation. We support of development of the Polish company We match foreign business partners for them. We organize economic missions. We organize Polish participations in national fairs. Within our chamber, there is the oldest court of arbitration in Europe. It was established in 1950, and it is functioning till up to date. We offer our support for Polish export and import company. We offer them services. For example, we offer them possibility to issue the certificates of origin for goods. We offer the legalization documents, trade documents. We issue ATA carnets, as well as some other certificates. We organize international events, congresses, and conferences. During those events, we offer a space for dialogue between business, politics, science, and the media. Also, we participate in public debates on matters relating to the economy, innovation, and directions of Poland's economy. We implement EU projects. Later, we will talk about some projects, but we can say that in the 20 years since 2009 till the pandemic time, we implemented nearly 50 EU projects. It was financed not only by EU, but also by Norwegian and Swiss funds. Some numbers, some data about our chamber. We employ 100 of employees which work in our chamber. And we have some expert committees. At the moment, it is not the 23 expert committees, but I think it is 26, because also the data is since the time of pandemic, and we increased in those committees also. You can see some data which are not so interesting, maybe only that during our relations, we have been organizing about 1,200 missions to countries all over the world. Our international cooperation, sorry, some technical problem. In our international cooperation, we support Polish companies and we support Polish entrepreneurs when they are trying to enter into the international cooperation, and we do it in operation with our partners, which we have in nearly all the countries. This year, we have celebrated the 35th anniversary of our activity as the Polish Chamber of Commerce. And during this time, we have been signing the Memorandum of Understanding with nearly 200 partners all over the world. And with those partners, we are cooperating strictly when we are organizing missions, for example, abroad, the economic components to the official visits in some countries, or participations in the international fairs in different continents. Something about our events. One of those events that is organized by our chamber nearly every year at the beginning of the year is the diplomatic opening of the year. It's one of our most important events. And during that events, we have participation of the representatives of the diplomatic representations accredited in Poland, also the economic representations accredited in Poland from other countries. It is a moment when the politics presents during the event the possibilities and prognosis for the Polish economy for the nearest future. It means that in February this year, mid of February, when the event took place, they presented the possibilities of our economy for this year. Also, we have another events like, for example, the Young Entrepreneurs Forum. We organize conferences, webinars, organizing Innovative Economic Congress, and the golf tournament. Very important is our cooperation with member organizations, because with them we implement the EU projects. Of course, it is important because of the possibility to strengthen the role of economic self-government in Poland, but also we prepare expert and legal opinions, and we try to make a dialogue with the public administration. And now the international project that we realize at the moment. As you can see, already finished, we have some 5 projects that have been finished in March, April and September last year, and February this year. Between those projects that was started, which is Erasmus+, On Good, Follow Us, and Prosper BSR, and this year we have finished Green Chambers, also Erasmus+ project. At the moment we are in process of realization of WISER, Women-Centered Intervention for Social Entrepreneurship Resilience, and ABBA, Association of Belarusian Business Abroad. Katarzyna, WISER? Can you talk about WISER?
Better.
Okay, so I will talk about the WISER. So WISER project is to support, it is support offered to the migrant women in their starting, running and developing social enterprises. And it is obtained by creating the entrepreneurship framework. One of the part of this project are WISER hubs. They were created and they offer for these migrant women such support, like, for example, training, mentoring, and business contacts. Business contacts are, of course, very important. The project also aims to promote social entrepreneurship, which is an innovative approach to increasing the participation of migrant women in the labor market. And so they can build a network of cooperation between themselves. Of course, it is very important to develop the skills of such migrant women who approach to our country. And it is also through the development and delivery of short courses. They are called WISER Skills Boosters. This is very important project because it helps such migration flows that are observed now in our countries to establish themselves within our economy and to make business, which is important for their independence, economic independence.
And adoption to the society.
And adoption to the society, yes. Another project is Green Chambers. Project Green Chambers was aimed to create the basis for an ESG training models for chambers in EU countries. This basis is very important to conduct the training between the companies, especially for the small and medium companies. It is a serious challenge because within the ESG directive, we can observe through the different talks with various entrepreneurs, there is the lack of strict, clear rules in the implementation of ESG directive. There is observed lack of transparency regarding this such certification rules. And in general, the knowledge regarding the ESG directive is rather poor between the Polish companies, Polish entrepreneurs. Of course, it causes great perturbations between them, And we are aware, and they are aware of the need to apply this directive because the companies should maintain its competitiveness. So I think because this project has been already finished, but the main result of the project was the piloting course, which took 8 weeks. It was realized online, and it was for the trainers. During this course, the trainers could receive the basic knowledge how to implement the ESG strategy in the chambers and in the companies, because it was realized in our local member chambers, and through those chambers we could get and share the information about the ESG strategy and strategy reporting between the companies of the sector or of the locality of the region. And as you can see here, is link for training course on e-learning platform. It is very useful tool because you can register here already now and to learn 7 modules of the ESG strategy and use it in your country and to teach, to share the information with your companies.
The course. Mm-hmm.
1 second.
We would like to present a little bit more concerning these courses. It is very important, and we are obliged to do it according to the plans which we have to promote during next 2 weeks. So if you don't mind, I will share with you the information concerning the training. Yes, the training consists of the 7 basic modules, and each of the modules has a dictionary. Based on this, you can pass all this basic knowledge. Yes, so you have to no on the 4th one you have to be. Parallel, each module has also the education film, consisting of 3 additional sections. And of each module, you can pass the text exam. And if you obtain more of the 70% of this course, you can get the certificate, which is very important because each of the 7 modules finalize with this certificate, and after you can present that you achieve a basic knowledge of the ESG of the strategy in your companies. It is very important for SME. As you know, most of the Polish companies are small and medium companies, so it helps them on the basic level, yes, with ESG strategy. So more or less, so I encourage you to enter for the greenchambers.eu platform, e-learning platform, to enter to see, because it is very, very useful and helpful for the companies. So after that they can present the certificate, and also they can use the basic knowledge about the strategy, which is very complicated for them. So more or less it is very, very shortly about the green chambers, which we finished. And Maria, I don't know, would you like to present more information on WISER or not yet?
No, if some questions are about WISER, of course we can answer them. So maybe let's wait for some questions.
Maria, Katerina, thank you so much. Yes, if anybody has questions, I'm sharing the link. I found it, and I'm sharing the link in the chat. So if anybody wants to check and enroll to the course that you just presented, they can easily access.
And Jacqueline, I will send you the short presentation about ESG strategy, yes, if you can put on your and promote it among your members or colleagues or SME, it will be very fruitful for them. And also, according to the rules which we have of the Greek Chamber project, we have to promote as wide as it is possible. Yes, and yes, so it will be great if you could help us in also in this aspect.
Okay, of course, I'm sharing the link for the website, but when you will send it the presentation, we will put it as a downloadable material so that they can download your presentation.
Yes. Okay.
And use it for an introduction to the course. I think that could be a very good opportunity because this kind of skills are very required in this field. It gives a very good introduction to how to actually manage sustainability inside of a company. It works for many young students as well, or even for somebody that finished their studies and wants to empower themselves, and of course are free. That
yes, it's free.
There are many courses of this level that you need to spend a lot of money, but you don't know or it actually is adapted for a chamber or for any other company. So having this kind of material from chamber, it means that it's very, very updated for what is useful inside of the company. So thank you so much.
Super.
Okay, we will send this presentation to you and you can share it as you wish before the interested companies.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And I don't know if anybody wants to add something or want to share. Okay. You can, if doesn't come up now, you can always write us by chat. So, this was the website. It is this one, right? And so you can visit it. Okay, so let me go to my presentation. So, as I wanted presented you in the agenda, I would like to spend a little bit of time on doing some brainstorming. So work on some powerful solutions together. These are 4 aims that we want to achieve with some ideas. So I'm going to share with you a Mentimeter link. So let me just introduce these 4 aims. So I think helping companies understand and comply with the latest regulations, such as CBAM. So let me explain a little bit more. So I think that sometimes for the company is very difficult for the SMEs understand the regulations and how to actually apply these regulations. So sometimes are very complicated, very difficult, and they have many steps. So we would like to actually understand how we can actually help these companies. Then reduce the financial boundary of CBAM and SMEs through the investment in low carbon technologies. So, of course, using the technology that has low carbon emissions for actually support the financial boundary of CBAM. Sorry, reduce the financial burden of CBAM. And then, of course, support small and medium-sized enterprises in navigating both digital and green transition. So we are in an area where we are actually facing a lot of transition, a lot of no problem, but challenges, many challenges. So how we can actually help these enterprises in navigating in these two fields. And then facilitate access to funds, of course. So how we can actually access to this, to the open calls, and of course, incentives for sustainable digitalization. So please get inside with this QR code. I'm going to share with you, the link. You will find the link in the message box to have a easier access. Is it working?
Yes.
Okay. So let me share my screen. What do you see the first answer? Okay, so we can start voting. Do you see is anybody is voting? Try to, because probably this was the just one moment. Okay. Okay, just because I have some issue on this, can I ask you, Lucia, to anticipate your presentation?
Sure, sure.
Yes, because there was there is some problem on Mentimeter, so let me solve this issue, and we can do it actually with a bigger panorama after your presentation. Sorry about that.
No, don't worry, don't worry. So just let me know whenever you want to stop for the coffee, or if the coffee is needed anyway.
Let's have the 10 minutes now, or we can. Do you have any off in your presentation? Like there is any moment where we can stop?
We can stop anytime. To be honest.
Let's start
let's start with the presentation, and then let's see if anyone is exhausted. Then we can stop. So let me share. Yes. Let me share my screen, and let's see if I can shoot the presentation. Hope you see it. Do you see my screen? The canvas for the presentation, the introduction, or the first slide?
Yes. Yes.
Canvas for the profits?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, well, so then I read a study not so long ago that said that 90% of the nonprofits find their financial conditions hard, and also that 42% lack of resources to be alive in the next 3 years. And another thing that it was a bit more worrying, if I can put it that way, is that only 1 out of 4 have only 30 days of less of cash on hand. I don't know if this actually recalls some of the struggles you have. My name is Sofia Gregorio, and now I work as an Innovation and Technology Transfer Manager in FEUGA, which is a non-profit foundation, by the way. But not so long ago, I was one of you. I was the general manager of a non-profit association in Galicia. So I was suffering most probably all the problems that you had and that you currently have on your daily days, on your daily working basis. So trying to think on solutions, I started training myself on Business Canvas to redefine the strategy of that organization. Then I moved to the entrepreneurship arena, and I started giving the same coaching and the same training for entrepreneurs. And that's actually what I do now in the context of Seabridge. The Canvas business model is one of the trainings that we provide in the coaching and mentoring sessions that we provide inside the Seabridge, but focused on SMEs. What I did today was to adapt that for you, for the nonprofits. So I hope you find this session interesting. Please, I don't see anyone because when I'm in presentation mode, I cannot see any faces. This is good because I don't see weird faces and I continue and go on and on. But it's also bad because if you want to stop me for a question, you cannot do it. So just open your mic and speak up. This is funnier and easier if we all collaborate in presentation. And I know that it's going to be more successful if you actually launch questions and we adapt the presentations with your questions or I'm trying to answer your questions during the time that we're presenting. So this is when I started thinking on how to start this presentation, I thought on why not starting with the need. Why nonprofits need a business canvas? Because normally when you speak on business canvas, you normally refer to entrepreneurs, but all the nonprofits need a value proposition. Sometimes the nonprofits forget that we still have to create value. And in a company, you're the one suffering because if your product or your service is not valuable or is not valid, you run out of business. But when you're in an association where there are many different stakeholders to please, sometimes you lose the focus and you don't really know what are you actually attempting. So yeah, I think that having this tool actually helps to articulate the assumptions that you have in the nonprofits in a clear manner. You validate your assumptions with the beneficiaries and the donors, and it's also a blueprint on how the organization creates and delivers value, which turns to be a very powerful communication tool for fundraising mainly, but also to communicate how aligned are you with the mission and the vision. And also clearly displays the distinction between how value is created and for who, and how is this value funded. And also it really helps in preventing the mission creep, that is expanding the mission beyond the set of goals that is acceptable just for funding reasons. Sometimes thinking that we are having funding struggles, you tend to get too close to the market to just provide services that someone else is actually doing, but it's not in the core of your mission. So that's what we call mission creep. So having that in mind and having your business canvas in mind and being able to revise and refine the business canvas periodically actually helps on preventing this mission creep. And to be honest, preventing this nation creep, it's useful to prevent to keep the image of the non-profit and to keep it as non-profit, not to be seen as an outsider in the market or someone who's doing actually things cheaper or for free, being even the competitors of our own associates. So that's actually the reason of why using a business canvas. And I don't know if you're familiar to it. How many of you have seen this image before? Can someone radiate how many people is interacting? Because I cannot. No? This is either because no one has ever used it, or
there is one.
Yeah. Hi.
Stella?
I saw
okay.
it.
Yeah,
Good.
I saw it.
Good.
Canvas.
Good. Okay.
you.
Then for the newcomers, for those who have never heard about this is actually a methodology. It was introduced by Alexander Osterwalder in a book that is called Business Model Generation in 2009, so quite a long ago. Funny story, if you want to know it. The book was crowdfunded. This guy was a researcher. He was doing his doctorate. The result of the doctorate was this book, and he wanted to publish it. So he started with a crowdfunding. Now it has been translated to 40 languages. It's fully recognized as the main tool to create like this to conceptualize the value proposition in many different settings. And since then, they have wrote 4 other books. He had wrote 4 other books, created a company, Strategizer, that is actually doing consultancy in this methodology. But at the end of the day, this is just a visual tool to design and reflect and help you really think on your business strategy. And it's very powerful because it's very simple. And you can start from like something that is very wide and start like narrowing it until like the very fine granularity of it. So you can start with like a huge overview of the strategy, and then you can adapt it until the very, very detailed strategy for a single product or a single service. And it's adaptable to any type of organization and methodology. So even though it's very well renowned for entrepreneurs, it's also very useful for nonprofits. And you will see why and how. This is actually the idea of it. And it has 9 blocks, as you can see here. But those 9 blocks are used, or when you reflect on each of the blocks, you have to do it in a certain order. Then you started with the value proposition, then you continue with the customers, and then you jump to relationships and channels. And once you have all this, you know what you want to provide to who and how are you connecting with these customers, you move to the how. How are you going to provide the service? Which are the partners that you need? Which are the activities that you are going to put in place? And what are the resources that you have? To finally end with the cost and the revenues that you will achieve with them. So there is a little controversy if customers go first or value proposition go first. Normally it goes hand by hand. It doesn't matter if you start with customer and then you move to value proposition. You will have to iteratively go back and forth until you refine the value proposition at the end. So yep, that is mainly the order, mainly the blocks. I will start explaining each of the blocks individually, but I would rather prefer to start with this is actually the template. And if we split it into like 2 halves, you can see that this right-hand side is about creating value, and the left-hand side is about efficiency. With the value proposition, we are going to define the what, to whom are we going to provide the what, the services, how are we going to provide the services, and how much are we going to charge for it. Is this clear so far? Yes? Then I'll move on. The thing is that with the non-profits, or even for other stakeholders, that for non-profits especially, there were some modifications on this business canvas model, and they try to apply different methodologies or to adapt it to different realities. And this is how the lean canvas appeared. As you see, more or less the blocks appear the same, but there are some red blocks here. There are the ones that are substituted in this lean canvas, taking the basis of the Osterwalder business canvas. This modification was done by EISMEA in 2010, so only 1 year after the business canvas was released. And it's applying the principles of lean, of the lean methodology, of the lean strategy, that is mainly about creating value on iterative approaches to get rid of the superfluous activities. Whatever doesn't add value, you don't put it in the canvas. That's actually what is behind this modification. So it's very much focused on customer problems and finding solutions for them. And that's why all the activities or all the how is substituted by this block on the business solution and the key metrics. Also, the efficiency is more diluted in this. However, this is very, very valid to create or to help on thinking the value proposition, because in the business model canvas, all these different blocks are embedded in the value proposition itself. But at the end of the day, you need to know how are you going to provide a service or the activity. So if I can give you my first advice of the day, use both. Maybe this link canvas will help you to define this value proposition. And once you have this value proposition and the customer service, the centers and the resources, then you move to the how with the old version of the business canvas. So what I'm going to do from now on, instead of doing just business canvas, I will just make a mix of the two and explain the common boxes, like in general, and then use where each of the lean canvas entry in place. Then I will make a more specific view on those. But if you're only using lean canvas, there is something that you have to know, and it's that the order actually changes. You start with the customer segments, then you move to the problem of those customers, then you move to the solution, and then you provide a value proposition. Later on, you go to the channels, then the revenue streams, the cost structure, the key metrics, and the unfair, what we call unfair advantage. Again, I'm going to explain each of the blocks one by one in a moment. So, questions so far? No? Then let's start with the blocks one by one. And the first one I want to start with, even though in the business canvas model is the second block that you reflect on, is the customer services. Actually, here you have to answer the question for whom you are creating the value. And here it's very important that you distinguish a customer versus a user versus a beneficiary. The customer is the person who will pay for the service. The user is the one who interacts with the product and uses the service, but might not be the customer itself, might not be paying for it. And the beneficiary is the individuals that are gaining value indirectly. Let's put it into a company setting. It's very clear that I'm trying to create a product and I put it in the market to solve a necessity of someone, a customer that will be willing to pay for it. What happened in the not-profits, that sometimes they don't want to pay for it. So we have to find someone else that will be feeding us with money to provide the services that goes to the users. That's why it's so important in the non-profits that you actually reflect on who is who in your setting, in your ecosystem. Because you will have to create value for each of the segments, for both the customer / the paying body or the donor and the user, that is most probably your associated or the member of your association. Of course, you have to define who benefits from your value offer. Beneficiary is just one side of the multi-sided business model. You can have beneficiaries that actually are paying customer for a different service that you're providing. In one setting, they can be beneficiaries. In another setting, can be customers themselves and pay for that. If you're having donors, you most probably will have they are donors, or they actually willing to pay for what you're doing because they will gain something in the long term. So you will have to identify what is the gaining in that long term. When you identify their needs and you identify what are the benefits, it's easy to actually conceptualize both the value offer and on how you communicate with them. It's the pro tip from a lean or agile, and this is the modification that the lean canvas introduces into this specific block, is that they start with the ideal customer segment, and then they do the whole canvas for that ideal customer segment, and then they create a different canvas for the rest and the rest and the rest. So they do it in a more iterative way. Well, that's fine. Whatever works better for you. And then moving to the lean and trying to help how to create a value offer or the value proposition, we can think on the problem. And to define the problem of a business segment or a customer segment or a donor or a beneficiary segment, you have to work with your empathy. Try to get in your customer's shoes. Try not and forget what you do. To think on the problem that they have. First, identify the problem. Try to identify the alternatives, and try to think if you can do it, if you can solve that problem better, faster, or cheaper. If you can do it better, faster, or cheaper, then they will be willing to pay. If you cannot do it better, faster, or cheaper, you better think on a different approach to that problem, because you will never make that a service. Do not forget that there are multiple ways to solve a problem. Try to choose always the most cost-effective to you, and this is how we introduce the effectiveness of the proposal. And while you're doing all this, and you say, "Hey, I have identified the problem of my associated members," then yeah, I can do it better because I have the knowledge, and I can do it better. I can provide a better service than out there, and they will be willing to pay for that. Try to set an eye on your mission in order to avoid that mission creep that we mentioned before. Is that part of your mission? If it's not, then you should not provide a service as part of your service portfolio. Maybe you have to pass on, or you have to facilitate that someone else solve that problem with their own resources and be a service for that other stakeholder, not for you. Take time to identify what's the real need of the client and the beneficiary. So the customers and the donors only understand the pain points. You will make them interested in your offer. No one will pay for something that they don't need, or they don't solve that, or that doesn't solve a problem. Is this clear? Then let's move to the other part. Now we have thought or reflected on the problem. Let's move to the solution. The solution is not always a one-to-one relationship. One problem is having one solution. Multiple solutions can one problem can derive in multiple value offers. if you know that someone is not acknowledged on business canvas, you can provide trainings, you can provide consultancy, and you can provide mentoring. And these are 3 different types of services. They are complementary, of course, but they can be done or they can be provided independently. And they have different costs. And of course, they have different needs and possible different prices. So get the problem, try to draw all the different solutions that you can provide to that problem. And then when you think that the solution and when you have the solutions more or less written down, you can start thinking what you can do around it. Which one of those solutions can you provide? And this is an advice, but it's an advice for life, I will say. It's the advice in the context of the canvas is outline always the simplest solution to address identified problems. And the advice for life is keep it always short and simple. Simpler is always better. It's easier to understand by clients that normally don't have the time to lose understanding complex propositions. It's better to communicate value. It's easier to communicate the value that you're providing, and it's faster to get the attention of the audience. So keep it always simple. I will say this is like this Nemetic rule of KISS. Keep it short and simple. Just try to implement it this way. Keep it always short and simple. And another thing that you have to look at when you're a non-profit is the social return. In a company context, you always think on the revenues. For non-profits, we have to look at 2 different aspects. Not revenues itself, but at least not losing, but the social return that you are providing to the society if that service really works and helps the customer or your base to create value. Normally, if you can define the social return, it will be easier to approach the donors, because the donors will always look at the social return, because most of the donors actually use the money to pay your services based on the social corporate responsible strategy. So yeah, one of the easiest ways to approach the 2 different segments at the same time is to think on the direct return, technical, economic return for the customers or users, and then the social return for the donors, and also in terms of image to actually capitalize to other different stakeholders that you actually collaborate with. Another cent of advice. You have to think on the solution, not on your solution. Conceptualizing the solution is to think it like in the bigger scheme. And only then, when you have the solution in the bigger scheme, you have to think on what you can do around it. So don't start on your solution, because thinking on this solution can drive you to look for other stakeholders that actually provide that, and you can bring it in at no cost and provide that as and put in touch your members with those providing that, and will create value per se with no cost for yourself, right? So we have the customers, we have the problem, we have identified the solution. So let's move to the value proposition itself. And in the regular canvas, all this problem solution thinking goes in here under this box. So you really have to think on the pain points of the client. And when you have a solution, you make the package of the value offer that you're going to provide. only knowing the needs, you can try to deliver what they want and they are ready to pay for. And creating a clear and concise statement of what makes your product or your service unique and valuable is going to make you win the customer or make you sell that service, even if it's for free. The time that people invest on listening to you or going to a training or going to an event, even if it's free, it's costing money. So unless you can convince them that what you're going to deliver in that training or in that conference is valuable, they're not going to attend it, no matter if it does for free. So creating the value proposition is not about gaining money, but also moving the people to follow and being interested on what you have to offer. And being interested in what you have to make them interested in what you have to offer, you have to demonstrate that you're providing benefits to them. Of course, something that is also very important is to demonstrate why are you different / better than your competitors. There are many trainings. Let's move it to the example of training. There are many people doing trainings out there. Even if the training is free, why are they going to attend my training and not someone else's training? I have to demonstrate that I can do better. I can differentiate, and the value that I provide is better than the one that other provides. And if you prove that you're providing value, they will not care that much about what they have to pay for it. And that's the reason why sometimes there are so many trainings out there, people still chooses to pay for training because they know that whatever they're going to get, the value that they're going to get in that or the training that they're paying, it's better than the ones that they're getting for free. So making something free doesn't mean that doesn't have to have a value per se, because otherwise you will find yourself with no one attending your courses. And again, do not forget the social value, but because that's what the donors will look at, right? In the context of a company setting, I always say that you have to move from the technical excellence to the perceived value. Technicals, or someone who is actually creating a product, they tend to think that their product is the best ever, and they put that in the market, and they find out in the hardest way that no one actually wants that product because no one is really needing it. This is the same. This is the same for nonprofits. Try to think on the value that you're providing first, and then try to make it excellent. The product service that you're providing, try to make it excellent. But first, start from the value and from solving the problem and creating value to whoever is listening to you. In the canvas, in the like original Osterwalder's business canvas model, then you move to the customer relationship and the channels. And actually, this goes by hand by hand. One is about the type of relationship that you create with your customer base, and then how you approach them, which are the channels that you use to approach them. For a nonprofit, at least this is my experience, and most of you actually will reckon on this. We know our members by heart even better of themselves, of what they know of themselves. We know them individually. The approach is very direct. This is not happening in foundations that are like Red Cross, for example, that is like tons and tons of members out there. But the closer you are to the members that you have, the better that you're going to be to identify the value that you can create through them. The relationship is more personal. And also, the relations become more complex, because when you introduce this personal approach, they tend to think that that they have you there for everything. And if you push on a certain aspect, for example, in the context of a paid service, they can always use it like, yeah, but I don't want to pay because I already pay you the membership. If I have to pay extra, so if you push hard, then you can lose the member itself because they got mad at you. The complexity is also in this relationship is like when you're closer to a member that is demanding from you a lot, is that they can perceive you as very personal, whatever. In both ways, like that member that is demanding a lot from you can see you as their accountant or the human resources department of the project office or whatever for themselves, and actually treat you as they will treat one of their staff. But on the other hand, the other members can see that you're only working for one of the members with the money because they're paying the fee. So you have to manage these complex scenarios and this complex relationship very, very carefully. And that's when this recommendation actually enters in place. You have to underline your relationship in a context of payable, non-payable services. And what have worked for me when you have fees or membership fees, you have to define very much and communicate very clearly what are you doing with the money that they pay as membership, and what are the services or activities that you do with that fee that is made for the membership, and what is out of there. And the line that I normally draw when I was in your shoes was, if the activity is good in general terms for everyone, then it goes to the membership. If it's only benefiting some part of the members that you have or the customer base that you have, then they will have to pay for it. And then you can decide which kind of payment or down payment you ask them for. If it's like market prices, or it's like deducted prices, or it's a fee, it's just a testimonial fee, but they should know that this is not what it goes like for the general customer base, but just for a part of it. And together with this kind of relationships, you have to define the key messages and adapt to these messages to the type of relationship that you want to establish. Of course, you have to connect the key messages with the values that you want to project, both your values, the mission and the values of the organization itself, and the values and the mission of the organization that you have in front of you, especially if they're donors. Is this clear? So you will have to have in mind the general common benefit in the horizon, because you're a nonprofit and you're working for a collectivity, not only for one specific customer that will pay for that and will be very demanding on the quality. You have to have this mission, your vision, your benefit, the common benefit in your mind when defining both the relationships and the channels. And to exemplarize more or less what I have just said so far, let's try to make the pieces fit. Part of the value proposition derives from the mission. The mission will tell you what are the services that you have to provide for the whole collectivity of the organization. And this goes normally addresses the donors. You tell the donors, what are you doing in your mission? And the donor will, and then you have the product services, and they will actually address the recipient or the user or the customer, depends if you can get it funded by a third party or you're asking the beneficiary to pay for it. The donor actually will make a donation to cover the mission, and the mission will maybe derive on delivering the services to the recipient for free. This is not always the case, right? Sometimes you can actually ask the recipient to pay for it because you don't have anyone else paying for it because it doesn't go on the general vision of the organization. Is this clear? If we put an example of this project, for example, the CBAM, the mission of the project or the mission of the organization that are behind this project is to explain the SMEs, the challenges, the changes, and that they're actually facing with the introduction of the CBAM regulation. So we provide different services like the mentoring, the coaching, the consultancy, some materials, whatever, to the recipients for free, because we managed to get the European Commission, the donor, paying for it. What is the donor gaining with all this? Donor is gaining that this CBAM regulation is wider known, the wider adoption of this CBAM. That's what they're gaining. What are the recipient gaining? Like the mentoring, the training, the coaching, the consultancy that they're getting for free. So this is how you actually create this value proposition and do more or less build the relationships and the channels with each of the customer segments. Is this clear so far? I'm going to move to the other part, to the efficiency, the key partners, the activities that are around. Do you want to stop for a minute or do you want me to continue? I will take that as continue, please.
Probably yes.
Okay. So
we still have half an hour, so for the brainstorming probably will take 15 minutes. So still we have time. Okay.
This is going to be fast, like this key part, because this is only in the Canvas model, and it's not so much in the Lean. So well, let's make this one fast, and then I have a couple of examples. I don't know if I will have time to go through them. Otherwise, you will have them in the presentation anyway. So once you have decided what you have to provide, what are the services that you're providing, you will have to find who is going to help you providing it. And then, of course, to create and to build this relationship with what normally are subcontractors, it's also complex because key partners can eventually become donors if they provide the service for free. So you have to identify if they are both a donor and a key partner, and establish the relationship as key partner and donor in separate ways. Also, be careful when crossing the line between the partner and the donor. If a key partner insists on being a donor, it's because they have something they want a benefit for themselves. So be careful, because you might be accepting a service of lower quality, or just because it's for free, and then you compromise the value that you're providing to your associates. And costs are always a pain point for the nonprofits. So be open to change some key partners, but be aware that you will be managing a constant change and can be counterproductive. Sometimes it's better that you keep the quality and you keep the value and pay a little bit more and try to think how to fund that extra cost in the long run. Try to build always balanced relationships, especially if they're keys, if they are really something that sustain your activity. If your key partner is a member of your organization, then it becomes even more complex, because if you decide to withdraw the contract or to cancel the contract because someone else is not pleased with the quality that you're providing, then they can become mad at you and leave the organization. So my recommendation is try not to look for subcontractors among your members. And this is actually weird that I give you this advice, but it's actually what it works better. And if you use partners to reach potential beneficiaries or customer, it's better that you consider them as channels, not as a key partner, right? For the key activities and the key resources, it's part of the production. So think on this as the production line. Think on the key activity. If the key activity is something that you can provide internally or externally, if you provide it externally, you have higher dependencies. You cannot control the quality of it. So be careful with that. And think, but in the other hand, if you make it internally, you might fail on compromising your mission and forgetting about all the things that you have to do, because the activity that you're doing for a training or a consultancy service is taking you too much time. So try to balance also that and identify the key activities that are part of the operation, and try to limit the number of dependencies that you have there. For the key resources, we are not only talking about the human resources or infrastructure or machinery, that you have to think about any type of resources that you need to provide the service, including patents, brands, and for non-profit, this brands and image is really, really important, and data certification. You might find that some potential donors will approach you because they want to get in touch with your members. So they want your data or your database. Be careful with protecting that as well. And be clear on what are you going to give them or not. Because if you're actually giving them the database or something that is your value per se, you're going to lose your sense or the why are you doing or the mission itself. Why are you doing what you're doing? And something that you have to do, and in the Lean Canvas they have a specific block for that, is that you have to do continuous satisfaction analysis to modify your product and service portfolio and reassess the value offer constantly. Then, of course, you have the cost structure and the revenue streams. For the cost structure, a non-profit doesn't mean that you have to have losses. You get money to keep the non-profit status and keep your organization running. Strive to balance your cost with the potential revenues derived from the provision of the services. If you have the membership fees, as I said before, try to use it to cover the fixed cost, and whatever is extra and is for a service or for a certain activity, try to find an additional funding source. And market prices are always good to have a reference. But in order not to do any dumping, try always to apply cost that's rated in your relationship with the members. So make those cheaper for them. But of course, if they are not members or associates, you can use market prices as any other regular stakeholder in the market. The best price, how is it fixed normally? Based on two questions. How much does it cost for me to provide the service, and how much the market is willing to pay for that? You also have to consider if you have buffer from the donation or membership fees. to reduce this price and make it more affordable for your customer base, for your members. And for the revenue streams, there are many different ways to obtain revenues. Analyze which one is more acceptable according to your mission and your customer base. And because certain customer types are more sensitive to a certain type of revenue streams. Maybe you'll have to increase the fee, the annual fee that you're charging to all your members, because they will accept that better than charging for a training, for a course, for an event per se. And the same value offer, as I also mentioned before, it's presented in form of additional services. You can make out of one need different services complementary to each other that actually targets different audiences. And the clearer, always the better. If you explain your price, make it as simple as possible. When you normally tell them that this is going to be negotiated, it's not a good idea. They won't reach you out. They won't even ask. So that's one advice. As I said before, in the lean, they're very much into measuring everything to keep this iterative flow coming. So try to define KPIs and metrics to monitor everything, not only cost efficiency, but also satisfaction, or mainly satisfaction, and try to keep out of the canvas the long-term outcomes. Keep it very short terms. And for that, use the rule of the 3 A's. In the canvas, try to provide things that are actionable, accessible, and auditable in the short times. The less long-term, the looser it becomes, and the harder that you have, harder that you will have to explain the value of that. And last thing, a promise, is this box that in the lean is one of the things that I like the most, and it's called the unfair advantage. The unfair advantage speaks of the value of your organization. It's about why you have to be the unfair advantage. Why are they contacting you? It's because you are the most representative in the area, because you're the most innovative in the area, because you have the better context in the area. The unfair advantage that you have and no one else has will actually speak on your behalf when trying to explain the value offer. And this is the last slide. Jacqueline, just let me know if I have time for the examples. If not, I will just put it in the presentation as I said. Or if anyone has questions.
Sorry, you didn't hear me. So let's see if anybody has questions, and okay. We can move on the brainstorming, and if we have a little bit of time after it, we can see some examples, or otherwise we can conclude.
Okay, good. So I'm going to stop sharing and at least see you. So if you have any question, in any case, you have my contact, it's in the chat, or I will post the chat if you have any question and you want to reach me by then, please do. And if any of you want to join my sessions, and this is a little, I will be having a session on the business canvas on the 8th, and there will be like the wrap-up session for the coaching sessions on the 15th, if I'm not mistaken, or the 25th. So yeah, you can always join the coaching sessions and go there.
Let me share Seabridge timetable so that people will know exactly where to go for enroll to the sessions. So this is the Seabridge website. So here we have the easiest way, because it's in the head of the page. So go inside and you can easily go on register here. Here we have some description. These are the speakers, the coaches, and here you can find all the sessions. So you can see also the ones done already, and you can download all the material presented during the sessions. There are these sessions that were impossible to do it. So, and there are still need to be rescheduled. So please reschedule, please choose the date that you might want to for having sessions with the coach. And of course, for the future one, you will need to register. So please go here and register now, and you will have the questionnaire, the registration form for being contacted to the responsible of the program. So, so sorry for the technical problem in Mentimeter. Probably the session was expired, and that's why it didn't give the possibility to answer to the question. So please try now. Let me know if now worked. I need to share this link and start the presentation here. Okay, yeah. You should now able to answer. Can you confirm that? If there's no answers, please let me know if it doesn't work.
I have just posted one.
Okay. Why is not working? I also tried before, so it always worked. It's my first time to.
I see another three answers so far, and just but we are responding. The problem is with the votes. When you click on voting, then it starts thinking and it doesn't move forward. If that helps.
So probably there is a server or something problem, because I also did again, and I can see there are 4 participants. There's no answer. Okay. Damn it. As you can see here, I have 4 participants, but let me try with mine. So share.
And if it helps, I was not in the Mentimeter. I was not seeing what you were just displaying in the screen. We are on, I am in the facilitate access to funds and incentives for sustainable digitalization. And I see 4 people saying yes.
So it's on me.
But not what you're showing now.
Where are you?
That's a good question.
Oh my God. Crazy.
There. The last one that you clicked is where we are all there.
Okay.
There we are.
Nice. It's so weird because I've changed the link and it's okay. I still work something, so let's present the right one. So you should now write your note on this one. So I have some inspiration with me. just to have an example on what kind of answer I would like to collect. For example, to reach, of course, this object, I thought that was nice to create some online portal with practical guidelines, of course, some checklist, and of course a simulation for some kind of impact simulation for CBAMs. So that's what I thought, for example, but I don't see your answer, so probably there is still a problem. Technology. Okay, somebody answered yes.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I don't know if the other attendees have the same problem that I have, but I don't really understand what you want us to write.
Okay, so
for the helping companies understand and comply with the latest regulations of such
CBAM.
Are you expecting?
Yeah, I got it. So yes, sorry, I tried to express myself again. So it's not a question, it's a aim to reach. So how we can reach this aim, like helping people. We want to help people. What kind of activity? What kind of result we can produce? We can organize. We can plan for reaching this object. So helping companies to understand. So that's why I said probably I thought it was good to create some checklist to let them know what kind of step they should follow for to reach the right regulation. So what kind of or a platform. So yes, I hope that now I express better.
Cannot change my answer now.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, so sorry for not express me
no problem.
a better way. Yeah, because I wanted to present you some big aim, big object that right now many companies are facing. So helping each other for finding very innovative and creative solutions. That was the aim of this brainstorming. Sorry for if you can hear my audio. So exactly. So for example, with the Sea Bridge, that was one of the solutions that we had the possibility to do with webinars, with workshops, of course, with info days, because for example, to present all the regulations step by step, what kind of solutions. So then something that also I was thinking, the video with companies, yeah, this is nice. For example, one solution that I thought was to be more in contact with the officers from the European Union that work with these regulations. So to have more feedbacks from them. So more webinar can be effective, and also you can organize surveys that fits the core topic that companies can use to measure themselves. Then companies contact you according to this result. So yes, every dissemination, of course. So for example, general booklet is kind of something that we wanted to provide with a comprehensive guideline that we created for a Sea Bridge project. So it's something that actually help the companies to understand better what are the steps for these regulations. So let me go forward, because otherwise we cannot be all for. So one more aim was, I thought, reduce the financial boundary of CBAM on SMEs through investments in low carbon technologies. So using low carbon technologies emissions, of course, gives the possibility to of course, get inside in a regulation that sometimes is difficult and struggle to get through with these many complications. So through the investment, but how so, and reduce this kind of financial boundary. If you don't have any idea, I can give you. I have my note. I thought, for example, an idea can be establish transition funds, for example, with by sided financing for adopting the low emission solutions, but this can be a little bit in contrast with the other. Or, for example, promote partnership between companies to share some best practices and innovation, of course. And that's why we're trying to do it in these days. So CBAM only applies for imported goods, so try to use providers, of course. This should be the milestone for any company. Okay, let's go. So the third aim that I thought to present you is how we can support small and medium-sized enterprise in navigating both digital and green transition. So right now, as I was saying before, we are in a era where facing different challenges, and digital and green transitions is the core of the situation. So and sometimes the small medium-sized enterprises they're facing they need to face both. So how we can actually support. I always have my ideas. So just to give you an input, for example, so for example, offer green digitalization vouchers. Those is something that also help business to adopt like Internet of Things. That is, for my opinion, the industry 4.0 especially is very a lot used. So that can be an idea. Do you have any other ideas to support or some best practice that you already use it for? So providing info on alternatives so they don't have to spend time discriminating providers. Exactly. There is still a lack of information for SMEs. The first step is to inform and then support the implementation of support. Those government support, yes, should support these investments. Of course, that's why, for example, creating some kind of bonus or vouchers or something that actually they are at the moment, but they need to be, most of companies needs to pay some certification to get even some voucher or something. So it's difficult sometimes to get funds, and that is the last question. So we have many yes, but it was, please, if you can get now the point of facilitate access to funds, for example, open calls or incentives for sustainable digitalization. So always how to do this. So what kind of action, what kind of solution we can do for supporting this process. So for example, simplify some procedures for accessing to the Green Deal and Digital Europe program funding. So sometimes the procedures are very complicated. So simplify probably will help. So and or for example, the third parties can collaborate with institutions to promote regulations. Of course, for example, could be even try to make new open calls, new projects like we are doing with Seabridge. So vouchers doesn't require complex emission reporting. So yeah, there is a way to get these vouchers easy. So I really thank you for all this sharing. If you have any other idea, for example, for doing some activity, also for support young students and access to this environment as a young student. So what kind of research they need to do? Exactly. So develop networking with a network, of course, with an institution that are already prepared to provide these responses. So, for example, the third parties or independent or no profits, for example, that work a lot with the other companies. So third parties can support in this process. Okay, so we having 4 minutes left. So I want to thank you so much for all your answers, for all your sharing. I'm sorry that we lost some minutes on the technical problem, but let me share. Okay, somebody shared in the chat. Thank you so much. So this this event was recorded, so anybody can watch it again through the platform, Seabridge website platform. And I will send again by mail all the material that we collected today, even something more from Lucia, some examples. So if you have any question, any doubt, or anything that you want to share, we are here to hear you. Or if you want to write.
Thank you for the invitation, and thank you for sharing all this information. And I hope to be connected and learn more from you. And count on us if you need.
Thank you so much. Yes. You can follow us in all our ongoing project. We're still having a lot of activities ongoing, and we will do more in this month that we still need to wait for the conclusion of the project. Thank you again to everybody, and I really wish you a very pleasant day, and see you next time. So get in touch.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline.
Thank you, Lucia. Thank you again.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. See you next time.
Yes.